Welcome to 10th year seniors. This is our favorite time of year. The NCAA tournament is upon us. March Madness. It is Selection Sunday. We just spent the last 2 hours watching the selection show, analyzing everything that's going on.
It's funny that we watch it because all these brackets come out, like the predictions, and we kind of know what's going to happen. I mean, you know they leaked this information, but we're still excited to see what goes down.
Yeah, you still just like watching the show. I think we all just like the name Selection Sunday. I know I do.
It's just an alliteration. Alliterations are great.
Alliteration is so good for everything.
They make everything better.
And now we're making a BracketCast.
BracketCast.
Well, let's jump right into the BracketCast and talk about, as always, take a Bahamian-centric spin on what's going on, talking about what's important to us. And that's our 4 Bahamians in this year's bracket. We have, of course, the highest seeded of the group, Buddy Hield.
Buddy.
Oklahoma Sooners.
Boomer Sooner.
We have Tum Tum Nairn in the Michigan State Spartans.
Take some more shots, Tum Tum.
We have
Take shots, Tum Tum.
Tristan Curtis and the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
I don't know if
I'm
you said
pronouncing
that
that properly. And then we have Dwight Colby and the Ole Miss Rebels. Yeah, they're going to be playing in the play-in round. So we got 4 Bahamians in this year's round. I guess we'll start with the most well-known of the group, of course. That's Buddy. And they'll be taking on, they're the 3rd seed in the East region. They're going to be taking on the Albany Great Danes, hosting the first round in Columbus, Ohio.
Why Ohio? Ohio sucks. Let's just throw that out there.
Ohio is trash. Like, why?
I feel like we're still trolling LeBron at this point.
I just hate Ohio.
Even though he has nothing to do with the NCAA tournament, straight to high school.
Maybe they're
straight
trolling
from high
us.
school.
But
Maybe
Albany got it in a dramatic way. Like Oklahoma was a lock pretty much the whole season.
John, you're not here for your pro Albany slander.
No, it's just the one how they got in.
Fine.
Miracle shot.
Go ahead. Tell your story about how you love the guy and the miracle shot.
He lost his brother, made a miracle shot.
Great.
That was the championship game. Now it's just Buddy's going to destroy him.
Great. Awesome feel-good story. That feel-good story is going to end. You know why it's going to end?
Buddy's going to dunk on him.
Barrage by Buddy Hield.
Buddy is going to go nuts from 3.
Let's just see Buddy go nuts from 3. Like
Buddy
we said,
needs to shoot the ball more.
Ryan Spangler, don't pass. Don't shoot it. Just give it to Buddy.
How did you feel when...
Paige.
Totally off topic. How did you feel when Ryan Spangler botched the game and then lay up against Iowa State? I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see it, but that's just a Ryan Spangler thing to do.
Totally.
Remember that time when do you think his feet were set?
Yeah, he was in rhythm and his feet were set and he passed it up. He should have passed that one up.
I don't think his feet were set on the layup. But yeah, so that's a 3 seed Oklahoma going up against the 14 seed Albany Great Danes.
They have a pretty, I think, smooth path to Sweet 16. Because then you got Boise and Dayton or Providence, and I don't think that those teams will be able to handle Oklahoma. I mean, we know Oklahoma was the deepest conference this year, so their teams won the 4. Could have won that conference.
I'd like to see who could stop Chris Dunn from Providence, though. I mean, he has some game.
Buddy can stop him.
That's true.
that ended that.
You know who's not stopping him? Ryan Spangler.
No, not Ryan Spangler. Set your feet.
I'd like to see Oklahoma avenge what happened in last year's tournament. They came in as a 5 seed. Buddy didn't have all of the national recognition that like he does now, but he was still OU's leading scorer. They came in that 12 against 5 matchup. That's always a trap for the 5 seeds, and they got beat by who was it? It's right on the tip of my tongue. I'm gonna remember.
Was it Coastal Carolina?
Checking my notes. No, it wasn't Coastal Carolina. Anyway, North Dakota State. I remember that game.
North Dakota State. We'll talk about them a little later.
Yeah, they got beat by North Dakota State in that game, and Buddy I think he had just about 9 points. He had a bad shooting game. That was his NCAA tournament debut, and hopefully, like I said, they can right the ship this year, and we don't see that early exit.
No. If they don't make the Sweet 16. Then, I mean, everyone says national championship or bust for the season.
Yeah.
But I think if Oklahoma makes the Sweet 16, then that would be a successful season for them.
I'm just all about seeing Buddy's draft stock just raise.
I just want him to go off. I want him to have a Steph Curry in 09 type of run and just go nuts.
I want that Dwayne Wade run into the Final Four.
Yeah, whatever. Somebody. I just want him to go on a tear and get their draft stock up. And then we go watch some NBA games.
Go to Chicago.
Why not? I don't want him to go to Chicago unless they fire Thibodeau.
Everyone give me one reason why we don't like Albany or a Great Dane right now. Tage, go.
Because their football team plays in the Colonial and their basketball team plays in the MAAC. Pick a conference. Stop changing.
Great. Hate them. John, go.
They're not the capital of New York. I mean, they are the capital of New York, which it shouldn't be.
awful capital. And my reason is because John's dog Link is a very tiny dog, and we don't like Great Danes. Great Danes are too big.
And they take too much food. And they make big poops.
So we're gonna stay in the East region. Also playing in the East region, Tum Tum Nairn and the Spartans, who came up just short in the Big Ten title game. They lost in overtime to Wisconsin.
Another big man to blame?
If they won that game, they may have been higher, but because of that loss, they're the 7th seed.
They would have easily been a 5 seed if they won that game. And they would have probably knocked off Wisconsin from being a 1 seed.
Definitely.
Because people weren't expecting Michigan State to hold their ground with them.
But they're the 7th seed in the East region, and they'll take on Georgia in the first round. That'll be hosted in Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this. Buddy and Oklahoma, they're playing against Albany also Friday, March 20th.
Columbus.
Ohio. But yeah, Michigan State, Georgia. What do we see from this?
Well, I think Michigan State is just going to demolish Georgia.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that easy. That may be a trap.
No.
Yeah, Georgia's pretty good.
Georgia, they have their streaks, but I think Michigan State has just more talent than them.
One thing I do like about Michigan State, though, this mystique about them taking it to that other level in March, that's legitimate because the way they've been playing in the Big Ten tournament, I haven't seen them play like that the entire year.
Who's the coach for Georgia?
The coach for Georgia.
No one knows, but everyone knows who Tom Izzo is, and you know when you get to this point in the NCAA tournament, coaching matters. If you have a good coach, you can get far.
It also helps to have a really short Bahamian point guard. Just ask Gonzaga. Quentin Hall almost took them all the way.
Yeah.
When?
C.J. Hines.
It was like in mid-90s.
I remember it was like in an early.
Yeah, Quentin Hall started that whole Gonzaga being the team thing.
Yeah.
Shout out Quentin Hall.
Shout out to Ounce.
But yeah, in this bracket, after that, then Virginia will probably play them, and I think that Virginia is an overrated 2 seed.
I do too.
I know
players have no swag.
Yeah, I know that they play great defense, but Michigan State also plays great defense.
This is true.
Except in overtimes.
His name is Mark Fox, by the way. Georgia's coach. Mark Fox.
That's my guy, stat guy.
No one cares about him.
On it.
But this could line up for a Michigan State Oklahoma Sweet 16, which would be who we go for. That's such a hard one. It's a win-win, but at the same time,
it's so unfair that they're in the same bracket. I hate this.
We're
gonna cross that bridge when we get there. We're not even gonna think that far ahead.
All I'm saying is don't sleep on Georgia. Like, don't think Michigan State. I mean, they probably should, but things happen in the tournament.
No, don't sleep on Georgia at all because they had Kentucky.
Yeah, they had.
They probably should have won that game against Kentucky. They were up by 9 with about 2 minutes ago.
If they have that game against Michigan State, they beat Michigan State easily.
Yeah. Well,
Who knows? Hey, maybe this is a game that Tum Tum shoots 10 shots.
Maybe.
And makes 9.
I feel like he makes at least 7 of them.
I'd like to see him just get to the free throw line. Like, it's.
No, he should be able to do that. He's quick enough to do it. He needs to have more confidence.
The thing is, he's so good defensively. Like, when Bronson Koenig was going off, they put Tum Tum on him, and he neutralized him for a stretch.
He shut down Bronson Koenig?
He neutralized him for a stretch in that game, and he came up with a huge steal with less than a minute left to go, and I thought that put the game away for Michigan State.
I didn't see it. He gives up like 5 inches to Koenig. Like, he is that shouldn't. I guess Koenig is not that type of athlete.
That's the crazy thing about how good Tum Tum is on defense, though, because he did the same thing to D'Angelo Russell. And
D'Angelo Russell is that guy.
Right. D'Angelo Russell is probably a top 5 pick next year. And Thad Matta, after the game, he was like, Tum Tum gave him fits. He held D'Angelo Russell to, I think, like 12, 13 points.
Goddamn. I didn't see any of
Trust me, next year, if it's going to be his coming out party, Tum Tum, for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, definitely.
It's like, he's going to be if he breaks out next year, then you can see him in the draft, too, in the following year.
Yeah. So, like John was saying, we could be possibly on a collision course to see both of our guys in the Sweet 16.
And I would say that they are 2 of the best Bahamians we have in the NCAA. I mean, I know Tum Tum's a freshman, but he's showing everything that you have to show to be a complete college player.
Yeah, I think Chicken didn't make it, but he has more long-term potential. Well, I guess Buddy's a ready-made NBA player. Like,
yeah.
He's definitely an NBA player now.
I'd like to see what Chicken, like, what he turns into.
Chicken is 2 years away from being 2 years away.
He is 2 years away from being 2 years away, but I'd like to see what he turns into.
That's
definitely
accurate.
Over long range. Who does Gonzaga lose to early? Because I feel
North Dakota State.
we're gonna get to them. Let's knock out our guys first, and then we're gonna get to talking about the complete bracket.
I just saw it Gonzaga.
Wisconsin and Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, let's slide over to the West region where we
Omaha.
have
Omaha.
Christian Curtis and his Coastal Carolina squad again as a 16 seed, Big South Tournament championship winners, going up against 1 seed the Wisconsin Badgers, who
Just made the 1 seed.
That's
for
target
winning the Big Ten.
practice.
I mean,
seriously, speaking from a Kentucky fan perspective, they have looked like one of the scariest teams all year for me. I know Kari was teasing me all throughout the battle for Atlantis, watching them play, talking about how legit they look. And they do look legit.
Those guys could play, man.
But it's hard because no 16 seed has beaten a 1 seed.
But I believe Coastal Carolina almost had Virginia last year. They were up by like 10 points in the first half, and
I remember
seemed
that,
like it was going to happen.
But it didn't.
It didn't.
I don't believe.
But
I've seen Wisconsin play.
You don't believe in Bahamians. That's your problem.
I don't believe.
We're not the POP.
I believe in Wisconsin.
We should be.
I believe in Wisconsin. I just don't believe in Coastal Carolina.
Not like for real.
No, Wisconsin has too much height and too much talent over Coastal Carolina.
Yes, but why are we being objective about this? We don't have to be objective about this. We are going to go all in with the crazy pick and going with the Bahamian dude.
Okay, so when you fill your bracket out, I want to see Coastal Carolina get in the next round.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I am gonna go on record by saying I think this is the year we see the first 16 beating a 1. And Christian Curtis is probably going to block Frank Kaminsky when he tries to hit the game-winning shot.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing, and I want to write the story. This is going to be 16 beating 1. I'm all in. And the game is going to be played in Omaha. So we get to say Omaha repeatedly.
Now we get to go to what...
Can we talk about why we don't like Wisconsin? Can everybody give me a reason? We're not supposed to like any of these guys playing against the Bahamians. Tage, reason. Why don't you like Wisconsin? Go.
Frank Kaminsky is taller than me, and he looks stupid.
John, go.
They gamble.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what they said in the press conference at Battle for Atlantis.
Yeah. I don't like how much charisma Bo Ryan had in those press conferences.
He's way, like...
Yeah, I don't like it. You're too comfortable.
I don't like Nigel Hayes. Like, I feel like...
Yeah, I don't like Nigel Hayes. Let's go with that.
He just had too much fun while he was there. And he
stop
complained
having
about
all
how
this
hard it was. It wasn't even that hard. It was chilly.
Yeah, we don't like Wisconsin.
You know what I don't like them? They took Buddy's title away from Battle for Atlantis.
They took it away. Listen, Bahamas. They took Buddy's title away. We're against Wisconsin. We're against Albany. We're against... Who was it that Michigan State's playing? Georgia, especially against Georgia. We only like one SEC team.
And now we're against BYU.
And now we're against BYU.
But this is the round that Nal and Kari says does not exist.
Oh my God. I have no idea why they have this round. Let's just have 64 teams. Just have 64
You know what
teams.
I don't understand? I would accept this round if they put them all 16 seeds. I don't see why you need to put 11 seeds in this round.
It doesn't make sense that you have these 4 11s and or even if it's 16 and 15. But why is it 16 and 11? How arbitrary is that?
That makes no sense because that means if they're an 11 seed, they are better than a lot of these teams who have made the bracket.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. What?
Hey, NCAA selection committee. Come on, man.
Before we go off, I'm sorry we went off on that tangent, but Dwight Colby and the Ole Miss Rebels just got in. They're going to be playing in the play-in round on Tuesday.
They would definitely last 4 in.
Yeah, on Tuesday, actually, they're going to go up against. So he'll be the first one up. Tuesday, 9 o'clock against BYU.
Yeah.
It's a play-in game between 11 seeds. Dwight's had a pretty good year. A lot of improvement from his freshman season. I think he has been getting like 5-5 this season. Stat guy will probably correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Oh, gosh.
But...
Can we talk about why we don't like BYU?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about why we're gonna talk about why we don't like BYU. But I know, Tage, you've played with them, and you always talk about Dwight and of course his big brother Kadeem. You always talk about what you like from their game. For people that have never seen them play, just
I never played with Dwight, but I mean I've seen him play. He's just a banger. Like he's a big body. He's athletic. I didn't even know he was. I didn't know he was only a sophomore. I mean, because like he is just. He's just a physical dude, you know what I mean? Inside grabbing rebounds, putting it back, dunking. I think like if he could work out his mid-range game or something, he might have something going on there.
Right.
Why do we hate BYU?
Because they kicked Brandon Davies off for getting laid. I mean,
yes.
you go to college to get laid.
And you know Jimmy Fredette was getting laid the entire time.
Yeah, and you know, you sacrificed the black guy for getting laid. Just you sat on the altar of Jimmy Fredette.
I'm gonna go on with that. I don't like him because they have an honor code.
Yeah, what's up with that? It's college basketball.
It's college.
It's college.
Even if the school has those rules, I feel like college basketball, the college athletes should not be held to those standards. I'm sorry.
You know how much stress they have? They have to relieve their stress.
I'm going to go ahead and say I don't have anything different for this. I just think it's ridiculous that Brandon Davies got kicked off the team for having relations with that woman.
It was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like
it wasn't just a woman.
It wasn't even like some jump offs. It was his girlfriend. And
come on, Dwight. Dunk on him.
Like, dunk all over them.
Dunk on the entire team.
And then take all their wives.
And then run down the court screaming, I have sex with women all the time in my school.
And I drink coffee.
I drink coffee.
I'm going to hell.
Oh.
Going to Mormon hell. I haven't went on my mission yet.
Yeah.
So after Ole Miss runs through BYU, we'll find out where they'll be playing in, well, they call it the second round, but it's really the first round.
They'll be playing Xavier.
They'll be playing Xavier. Which region? I'm not.
That's the West region.
Yeah, bottom bracket.
I mean, that's assuming they beat Harvard. I mean, Harvard is a tough out.
They'll be in Jacksonville. Hey. So we're seeing that we could have Coastal Carolina and Ole Miss playing later on down the line.
In the Elite Eight.
It's going to be behaviors all over the place in the Elite Eight.
Yeah,
my bracket's going to be filled with all these chances because everybody knows that my number one's just going to win. So I'm going to just do whatever the hell I want with the rest of my bracket.
Wisconsin's going to shoot their club up. I'm sorry. I just can't. Like, I want to be biased, but I can't.
You're gonna regret this. When you see Tristan Curtis blocking Frank Kaminsky trying to dunk with the game in late.
How tall is Tristan Curtis?
He's like 6'7". But he could jump
He's
high.
Bahamian, yeah, he's Bahamian. He could jump.
Yeah, of course he could jump high. He had like 14 rebounds in the conference title game.
I never seen him play.
So I guess now that we realized that we're going to have an Elite 8 matchup and a Sweet 16 matchup, we can go with teams who participate in Battle for Atlantis that made the tournament, which was one more than I expected.
Yeah,
Georgetown.
They're also
no,
kind of
I always knew Georgetown. UCLA made it.
Wow, I didn't know.
Oh
that.
my god.
Really?
Well, that would have been the fifth Bahamian in the tournament, but Wano was declared ineligible.
Why? Why was he declared ineligible? He didn't do his schoolwork?
Them grades, bro. He didn't go to Syracuse.
Yeah, or North Carolina.
Yeah, if he went to Syracuse,
any of those schools, you would have been straight.
No, I know. Like to go to a UC school, you got to do your work, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the biggest shock out of those teams that we watched, and I think you all will agree, UAB won CUSA and got the automatic bid.
That doesn't shock me. The CUSA sucks.
Yeah. I mean,
but UAB really sucks.
Yeah. I mean, you can't say as much. If it would have been a shock if they had that at-large bid, but once you win your conference tournament, it doesn't matter how trash you are, you're gonna be in there.
Yeah, and they got Iowa State, so you know what's gonna happen? 30 points.
Party done.
Yeah, party done. 30 points. That's what they're getting beat by.
Daddy. Yo, Georgetown, though, they did pretty good coming out of Big East. They went 21-10. I mean,
I think they were one of the more impressive teams to us from the Battle for Atlantis, just because
That's my team.
I don't know. We came away.
You guys came away impressed.
I mean, even like guys who I thought would come up big down the stretch, like Copeland. I mean, I think Rivera did pretty good, but Copeland really wasn't playing good.
We got Tage's favorite player plays for Georgetown.
Oh, Devonta Smith Rivera?
No.
Oh, Josh Smith?
Josh Smith.
That's the kind of team, and they have a guy like Smith Rivera that could just go off for like 2 games in the tournament and win you 2 games back to back.
But I think Texas is going to beat them. I think that's an upset right there. It's not so much of us. It's just because of the seeding, 11 and 6. Right. I just think they're going to call it an upset. But
I think UCLA goes down to Iowa State. Like like for
UCLA,
sure.
bro.
No, UCLA's playing SMU. SMU is going to murk them.
Oh, I'm looking at it wrong.
Like, it's going to be.
Oh, they play UAB. UAB is going to...
UAB is going to get smoked by 30. But then you have Butler, which... Butler's playing Texas. That's the upset I'm thinking of seeing. Because Butler doesn't have the height. Texas has those tall players. Didn't he transfer there?
No, he went to LSU.
Claire?
Shaq? Oh, Claire, yeah, Claire. I thought you meant O'Neal. Yeah, Shaq Claire. Yeah, Shaq Claire went to Texas. He's there now.
So, okay, we can pull for him since he's on the bench.
No, next year.
Count that? Nah.
We're 6 months away. 6 months away.
We're gonna be biased towards Texas next year.
Yeah, we're gonna have a heavy Texas.
He's not there yet. We have a year before we have to do that.
But who do you think has the hardest region? I think Kentucky has the hardest region. When you look at the teams in their half or quarter of the bracket, not yet.
Okay.
When you see it, I just think that the matchups, like the teams that they're seeded, I think West Virginia, I think could have been a higher seed for sure. Maryland.
I have a look of disdain on my face right now.
Yes,
you guys can't see
If
it.
Duke doesn't win this bracket, I feel like they should fire Coach K.
Yeah, Duke got an easy bracket.
Like, because, I mean,
The amount of things that have to happen in America for Coach K to be fired is... I think, like, the White House will have to blow up or something before Coach K ever gets fired by Duke.
It has to be worse than Joe Paterno.
Yeah, I think way worse. Nothing gets Coach K
But yeah, I
fired.
think Kentucky has the hardest bracket. West Virginia is a tough matchup. Maryland would be a tough matchup. And then when you go down the list, Notre Dame.
Maryland is a tough. Like, Maryland.
And Kansas.
Did you see when they played Wisconsin a couple weeks ago?
No, Maryland's a good team.
Good team.
Did you see when Michigan State owned them 2 days ago?
No, I didn't.
I did.
I was
Ha!
on a bender.
Next.
So, what was your hardest region?
I would say, I mean, you had a point saying that the Midwest region may be the hardest region for Kentucky
And I think the committee did that on purpose.
if the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers were in that region, but they're not. So we're going to mow through them like we mowed through everyone else. I actually think Villanova has the toughest road. I know they're the lowest of the 1 seeds, but they'll have to go through either NC State or a good LSU team. When LSU is healthy, I don't know what their front court is looking like right now. Yeah. They'll have to go through them, and then a possible matchup with Oklahoma down the line, because I think Oklahoma does.
Notice how he skipped.
They gotta beat
Notice how
Louisville.
he skipped that other team from Kentucky. With
Louisville
a possibility.
is not the
No,
same team. That
I
they
think
were
that,
earlier.
But Louisville, I feel like Louisville is always a tough out
No.
in the tournament.
They
I
lost
see
Chris Jones.
Northern Illinois is going to make some noise. This is my making my noise team of this tournament.
We should have got to that later. But they're a 5 seed though. I mean, I think you got to go double digits if you're gonna pick a making some noise team. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. You got to go double digits.
I got my team. I got my
5
making some
seed.
noise team.
I don't care what seed they are.
Mine is Coastal Carolina. But anyway, yeah, I think the East region is probably the toughest for any of the number 1 seeds, because I think number 3 is gonna win that bracket.
You know what team we
is
forgot to
Oklahoma.
talk about?
I think that's it.
We forgot to talk about the team that got beat by DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, UNC. UNC actually looks pretty good.
I know, that kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Ever since Ayton put it on them.
Yeah, they're peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
Dang, KJ.
Look at KJ. KJ probably coach Roy Williams.
Do you think
would be
he's
like,
calling
hey.
over? Yeah. Do you think he's calling Roy Williams and giving him tips like Roy?
You
I
seen
saw this coming.
You know UNC got the uniforms from C.I. Gibson. You see
Yeah.
that? Yeah, the Argyle. That's our story. We're sticking to it. They got their Argyle
Yep.
from C.I. Gibson.
Oh, man. But no, UNC's impressed me.
He probably
especially
called him
that.
during the ACC tournament and was like, "Hey, I lost Hugh Campbell too. I know what you're going through, Roy. It's tough."
Did you notice how they had the late collapse at the end of that game? You know how come? Roy didn't listen to the last minute of the phone call.
He really didn't.
Nah, you gotta listen to KJ when he talks.
Come
Roy.
on, man. KJ's your dad.
He
Yes,
is.
Get it
exactly.
together.
I should ask Keno, what does he think about NC's chances?
So this is the time of the show where Now gets to talk about what he wants, which we know exactly what it is.
We do not know what it is. This right now is a cliffhanger. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the NCAA tournament. Nobody knows who anybody's going to pick. I mean, selecting your bracket is like a way of sports life now. I mean, it's one of those things that everybody loves to do. It's on the same level as fantasy football. Nobody knows. It's suspenseful. I think you guys should go first.
Okay, let me just.
I'm going to go first. My selection for who's going to win this tournament, I'm not going to go through and break down any regions. I'm not going to say who's going to make the Sweet 16, Elite 8. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying one thing. Go Big Blue. Of course, like I have done every year since Jamal Mashburn was there, I am picking Kentucky to win this tournament.
What you're saying? The sky is blue.
Yes.
Oh,
Of
man.
course, it comes as a surprise to no one, but even in years when we weren't this good, I was still picking Kentucky to win this tournament. We're 34-0. We've won games blowing people out. We've won games where we're tested. This is it.
Kentucky. You guys have upperclassmen. Like, you know what I mean?
And by you guys, I'm going by the Big Blue Nation.
You know what I love about this team? They didn't even cut down the nets after the NCC tournament.
No, you know
I saw
why?
Wisconsin was all happy
They
cutting
see
down their
they
Big
see the
Ten
prize.
nets.
They
Willie
know the
Cauley
prize.
Stein and the boys were like, you know what?
We don't
Nah.
need that.
We let the managers cut them down. They can have that. We got some big.
All the
events to cut
walk-ons or
down.
whatever could have him.
Yeah, somebody else.
The
could do
fans
that.
can come cut them down. But I got Kentucky winning it all too.
Yeah.
I think
Just because they're my de facto team now.
Yeah.
I don't think we should wonder. Like, I don't think we should ask who's gonna win. I feel like we should
Tage,
ask who's gonna. Who
Are
they're
you
gonna
gonna
go up
pick the
against.
field or are you picking Kentucky?
Hell no, I'm not picking the field.
Yeah.
like,
Go big
That's it.
blue.
like
Go
I.
big blue.
I feel like it would be an
Go
affront to
Big
like
Blue.
basketball if they weren't your favorite. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like the real question should be who they're gonna play against.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, and they're also kind of our guys. I mean,
They are. I
we
mean, they
watch
came down here for
we
a
watch
week.
them play here. We get to write the story saying, you know what, this entire historic run
Started here.
right here in the Bahamas.
When 10th year seniors first started.
And another thing we'll get to say, we were the only people, if they go through and of course finish 40-0, we would be the only people that got to see them lose live.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah.
lost that game to that French
To the-
team, that would be
They lost to Dominican
To
Republic.
Dominican,
the
yeah.
DR, yeah,
Yeah.
where they lost that game, and even that was only by 1 point.
But
But
Coach Cal wasn't coaching.
yeah, he
That's
was
true.
sitting behind us.
that's true.
Because
he was chilling with us.
You remember the guy
Stats.
from Dominican Republic did the
Yeah.
throw slash to him after.
Yeah, he was up there. With
Hey, you know
us.
what Coach Cal said? I don't care.
I don't care. I'm rich. You play basketball in the Dominican Republic. I'm rich.
By the way, Louisville's doing that next year.
But
They're playing pro teams down here in the summer. They're always trying to swagger jack.
they've been here. No, they've been here a couple years ago.
You know how come the
No, for the Summer of Thunder. But
Oh,
they're
yeah, I
gonna
know
be
they
doing
played
the same
locals.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna do.
So hold
the
on,
same
is that
thing
going to
Kentucky
be
did playing-
ES? So then the ACC is coming out with the ACC network.
Not sure.
I
don't know.
guarantee that's what's going to happen. This going out. If they're coming down here for the next summer, they're going to have an ACC network.
You know how much money those schools make from that, though? I mean,
No,
like,
I know.
they'd be a fool not to.
But that's just like a big leak right there. I'm gonna write a story about that one.
You should. I'm
So-
gonna have to edit it.
I see on the board we have Niall
Trust me.
explains why it's good for the world in the Bahamas for UK to win. I'll start why it's good for the Bahamas. It's good for the Bahamas if UK wins because we want as much exposure as possible on the Wildcats for the class of 2017 so we can get who? DeAndre Ayton. If DeAndre Ayton, the number one player in the class who's from the Bahamas, goes to the number one school in the country, all that is exposure for the Bahamas. They love
Not the world.
we're gonna get to the world. You know, we all love to talk about sports tourism, blah blah blah, exposure, blah 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 blah. blah. But all that stuff. That's why Kentucky's winning is gonna be good for the Bahamas, just to buy DeAndre Ayton and for future players coming up. You know, for kids, I know I didn't really talk about college basketball a lot with a lot of my friends in high school, but kids are doing it now. And kids are liking Kentucky like when we were growing up, how we liked the Fab Five,
Michigan,
stuff
yeah.
like that. You know.
I like
So
that.
they're becoming a very important landmark team in that aspect.
And for the world,
Why it's good for the world? Everybody loves perfection. The chase for perfection is one of the most important things in sports. It's one of the most sought after things. You just love to see history happen. I mean, Tage notwithstanding, a lot of people wanted to see the Patriots complete that perfect season.
No.
Just to say, I've seen it.
I didn't want to
Tage
see it.
notwithstanding, but there were some people that did. Who doesn't want to see Kentucky
Go
go
Giants.
40-0 just so he can say, you know what, I saw this happen. I saw this great team go all the way and do it.
you know why it's good for the world? Because Coach K is good for the Coach Cal. I mean, it's good for the world.
Don't you ever do that again.
Coach, I mean, I can see why players want to play for him.
Yeah.
And then you know what he needs to do? He needs to come coach a national team to get
He
him.
needs to coach our national team. I mean,
I want him to do with Carl Towns. And
yeah. Should have been doing that with DeAndre
You know,
years ago.
I think it's good for the world because I think if he coaches a national team, I'll be his assistant, and then I could get a graduate assistant job at UK.
Oh, we would get so much gear.
I want a graduate assistant job at UK so bad.
I get so much Nike shoes.
So much Nike shoes, and then I will recruit all the poor kids in the Bahamas who be killing each other. I'll just recruit them to go to UK.
And he was really nice to Kaizen, which was pretty dope. I like
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
came. All the UK players were nice when they were down there for the Big Blue Bahamas tours. Just such
Yeah.
a great place.
Anyways, UK, he got him. Talk about DeAndre Ayton. Follow him on Instagram because he's a hot thing. DeAndre Ayton.
Also our guy.
Yep.
Yeah, so a young fella.
If you look at his Instagram, he's got 10th year senior stuff on it. You know why? Because he's about the culture.
Because we the culture.
We
Yes.
are the culture.
All right, that's it for the Selection Sunday podcast. Tuesday we get started. Like we said, Dwight Colby and Ole Miss is up first Tuesday at 9. Check him out. Let's give all these guys our support. Try to stay abreast of what's going on. Watch the games if you can because all the tournament games are televised.
True
And-
TV, the first one, so.
Yeah, and when you're not watching any of the Bahamians play, watch Kentucky. just because. It's the most important thing that's going to happen this
perfection.
year. Together, people. Let's pursue perfection together.
Perfection.
40
This is
and
10th year seniors signing off with our bracket cast. See you guys next week after round 1.